You just got to calm down, not get into
Lock
that.
in. Don't worry about what's behind you. Just keep looking forward.
That's right. You know his heart is pumping 2,000 beats a minute right now. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to come around for the last lap. White flag is about to fly here in a moment. White flag. No more cautions. 28 or 48 out front. 42 up into the wall. Jonas Seawright able to gain a little bit of momentum on that, but he is unfortunately going to be still 8 seconds back. 48 coming around for the last time here at Rockingham.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Good work, boys, up in the booth. Thank you guys all for showing up tonight. Craig had an amazing job out on the track. We're going to go ahead and get our drivers up here for some interviews.
going down and the rig is on. iRacing is where I belong. Discord's lit and the drivers are here. This is GEC, there's no room for fear. Green flag drops and the engines roar. 40 cars and we all want more. Mash the gases, we're on the line. Forward and we're feeling fine. Drifting close in a slipstream dance. Taking the corners in a high-speed trance. Tri-oval side by side in this GEC League, there's nowhere to hide. White flag need a perfect lap. All gas, no brakes to close that gap. Checkered waves in the racing world. Another battle is over and done. Cheers to the booth, hope they like the show. Victory lane is all I know.
Welcome to Darlington, South Carolina. Working just right. We're here for the regular season finale of the GECE NASCAR THDesign Truck Series. And it is going to be wild. We've got drivers locked into the playoffs, drivers good coming in, drivers who need a good points day to wake their way in, and then drivers who are desperate for that first win of the season to lock their way into the championship. Through those means, this is the last chance dance. 205 miles, 150 laps. Going to be a stage at lap 60. And as usual, we've got 6 additional sets of tires and an incident penalty at 24. Up to 3 green-white checkers, and tonight's fuel window going to be around 34, 38 laps. You can save a lot of fuel here if you know how to do it, so should be a fun one here tonight. I'm Shane Cochran up in the booth. As always, excited to bring you the race here from Darlington, and as I mentioned, this is the last race of the regular season. So you're going to see a lot of rainbow colors there up in the tower tonight. We'll get to that in just a minute. But on the front row, Knox Thompson and John Anthony. Then Cameron Craighead and Jonathan Hammond in row 2. Going to be Aiden Como and Robert Weibel in row 3. Kyle Simmons, Coleman Chapman in row 4. Michael Boyd and Stephen Abosaid in row 5. That's your top 10. Then Robert McMillan Jr. and Kenneth Gallman in row 6. Row 7 going to be Lee Kiernan and Jonah Seawright. Row 8, Hunter Baltz and Alejandro Khan. Then Ryan Jones and Keegan Shelton make up row 9. With Hayes and Griffin in row 10. We're going to talk a lot about Jamie Griffin here tonight for a couple reasons, but mostly it's the stats here at Darlington. But we'll get to that after we watch this green flag action. A lot of nerves here in the trucks tonight. But the green flag is out, and we're racing at Darlington for the last chance dance 205 regular season finale of the THDesign Truck Series. Thompson out front on the pole, already into the wall. You're going to see that a lot tonight. That's called a Darlington stripe, and there's nothing wrong with it. Might make the truck go a little faster. In fact, 42 sideways, 47 and 43 both sideways, still green. That's Ryan Jones and Khan in the back. No caution. Cameron Craighead out front. Has gotten ahead of Thompson after that contact with the wall. And now everybody's starting to spread out. You do not want to be 2x2 here at Darlington if you can avoid it. You kind of only do it to make a quick pass, and most of the passes here happen with a slide job or a dive bomb situation. You do not want to be side by side in the turns if you can avoid it, especially in 1 and 2. There's really only one lane. A lot of trivia to go along with this Darlington track. While it looks like it's about 20 lanes wide, there's really only one lane that's fast, and it's pretty close to the wall for about 80% of the turn, as drivers are in the wall all over the track tonight here in the opening laps. A little bit of a pass here. This is McMillan working on bolts. Can't quite get there this time. So Kahn and Jones involved in the early incident. No caution for those drivers, so they have had to pit, come back out. Jones is 2 laps down. Kahn also 2 laps down, but has picked up a black flag along the way. He might have been speeding on pit road. Got a nice 3-truck battle here. Kiernan, Gallman, and Abu Saeed. This is a battle for 9th place. Seawright getting into it. Why don't we go ahead, jump on board with Gallman right here and go for a ride around the track. Out of turn 4, he's got a great run. But you're going to want to stay single file into 1 unless you can complete the pass. Right here, you come in low and then drift up to the wall. And the most important thing is to cut down right there, because if you don't, the truck will get tight and go right into the wall, which looks like what Abu Saeed was dealing with. That's going to let Gallman go on by. Then into turns 3, you enter on the wall and stay there. You can turn down like this on exit, but you don't have to. There's actually a surprising bit of grip right up by the wall on the outside lane in turn 4, and that's how you're going to get around the lady in black, as they call this track. All right, now to our tower. We got, as I mentioned, a ton of drivers kind of in different situations here tonight. Last race of the regular season, last chance to get into the playoffs. With the THDesign Truck Series, it's a win guarantees you entry into the playoffs as long as you make the minimum 5 races on the season. And drivers that have a win or have clinched on points already, those are the purple drivers. So Craighead, Thompson, Hammond, your top 3. They have nothing to lose. They're racing for bonus points into the playoffs or another win to pad that trophy case. Next up's going to be drivers who are coming into the race above the cut line, but still within reach of other drivers to pass them. Those are the green drivers, Anthony, Kiernan, and Griffin. They need to have a solid day, but they don't have to win. They don't have to get a top 3 or win the stage. They just need to have a solid, good day to kind of cement where they are already as the race started. But then the drivers coming in below the cut line who need to have a fantastic race points-wise to pass those green drivers. Those are the red drivers. That's Weibel and Como. And then anybody who's just regular old gray, they are not within reach of points to make the playoffs, even if they, finish second and win the stage. They need a win. So Gallman right now in the 71, he is that first driver in a must-win scenario. And so as you see these drivers racing on track, we're going to try to keep up with this rather than, trying to crunch all the numbers on points when we know there's bonus points after the race, there's penalties administered after the race. Rather than worry about doing the math, we're just going to leave drivers in these buckets. Purple drivers are in. Green drivers are in as long as they can avoid disaster. Red drivers need to have a great race to point their way in, and gray drivers must win to make the playoffs. So pretty exciting here. There are a number of drivers near that cut line that did not make tonight's race. They will most likely have to take a provisional, which here in this league, you get a 20-point provisional so that if you have to miss a race for any reason, it's not the end of your season, but it's sure not going to be a great race. Here with only 20 drivers in the field, a 20-point provisional is essentially a last place finish here in the race. And Thompson, that hard into the wall. We mentioned you're going to get in the wall and get a Darlington stripe. That's a little too much. You can see the truck kind of get hung up there, and it puts them at risk of having some wheel damage when you kind of bounce off the wall multiple times like that. But Craighead now pulling away. Out front. Not surprising. That 33 truck has been fast all year round. Five wins on the season, 6 stage wins, 6 podiums, 8 top 10s in 9 races. Craighead is the points leader, and he's leading the race right now. 14 laps already in the books. 150 sounds like a long race, but I think the miles are going to fly by tonight. If we take a look at who's already on the move early, Jamie Griffin leading the biggest gainers leaderboard up 5 positions, although he started back in 20th. Did not qualify. We'll have to double check this with race control, but he did pick up a penalty in last week's race for passing on the inside on a restart. I think that might have resulted in a pre-race EOL, so no qualifying allowed there for the 5. So he starts in 20th. He's up to 15th. But that's all so far. Chapman up 4 positions. Seawright, Kiernan, and Gallman all up 3. Who's that 5 truck? Jamie Griffin. Now, I mentioned we're going to talk about him, and it's because there have been 6 past races that GEC has gone to Darlington. And the only driver in that list of 6 races that is still active in the league that has picked up a win is Griffin, and he won 3 of those. So 3 past victories here at Darlington for the 5. No one else in the field has ever won here at Darlington in GEC or the THDesigns Truck Series. And we have our first caution of the night. It looks like the 96 of Como and the 13 of Seawright are involved. I'm going to take a look at that 96 truck now. The 96 and 13. And right there, you can see the contact. Now, we mentioned this is kind of a 1-lane track, even though it looks so wide. So Seawright comes in there behind him on the fender and slides up into him. I'm not sure. I mean, from that shot, it sure looked like it was the 13 at fault. But if he was expecting the 96 to glide up to the wall as kind of the normal racing line, that could also be part of it. But that sure looked like it was on the 13. First look at it here. We'll let race control figure that out. Let's look at that again. This time at real speed. Oh, or I lied. Let's get it real speed. Here we go. And the contact, you know, they have contact initially, and it almost looks like the 96 might be able to drift down the track and save it. But not so. We're going to look at this one more time. There is a truck just behind them. That's a 74 of Simmons. We'll jump on board with Simmons to see what this looks like to him. Yeah, again, I'm pretty sure that's on the 13 here in turn 1. You enter low and drift up to the wall at the middle of the corner, and the 13 unable to hold the bottom. And we've got a handful of drivers here hitting pit road for some extended stops here. Looks like the entire field did come to pit road with the exception of Ryan Jones, who is going to stay out to try to pick up a wave around. Then under caution, looks like something might have happened to Shelton. As they're getting on pit road. Maybe a technical issue or something there. The 11 really slowed down. He keeps moving, though. And seems like he also can't decide if he wants to hit pit road. And then he stops right there. Hayes is coming down pit road. The 11 stops right in front of him. 82 is not going to be happy about that. And then the 11 jumps out of the car and takes a tow. I got to imagine that Shelton was having some sort of hardware issue the way he came down and stopped so suddenly both of those times. Really unfortunate for the 82, though, to get caught up in that as well. So everybody hits pit road. Everybody takes a full tank and 4 tires, except for Ryan Jones, who takes the wave around. That gets him to just 1 lap down. And after some of those drivers stopped to take repairs, it looks like we got a pile of drivers caught a lap down. We'll check on that in just a minute as the green flag is back out. Craighead still out front. Anthony now up to second. Kiernan in fourth. Again, drivers in green came in above the cut line at the beginning of the race. And if they can stay in the top 5 like this to pick up some stage points, that is only going to make them feel a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, after that caution, we've got Abu Saeed, Jones, Seawright, Weibel all 1 lap down. Hayes is still in the pits after that contact with the 11 as he stopped on pit road. Now Kiernan almost loses it, saves it down low. We've got some issues in the back, but we're staying green. We'll check on that in just a moment. Simmons, Seawright, and Baltz involved in some sort of contact. Right now, Hammond is up to second. Anthony and Kiernan. Then Chapman, your top 5. A lot going on tonight. So now that we're kind of single filed out, let's go back and see what happened to Simmons, Seawright, and Baltz about 2 laps ago. So Simmons smacks the wall. Unrelated, Baltz hard into the wall behind him. I think Seawright might have picked up a little bit of contact as Baltz was heading into the wall. Check on that. Or maybe that's why Baltz was heading into the wall. Yeah, there it is. So that's the second time tonight that 13 truck has been underneath someone and drifted up, causing them to get into the wall. Tough night for Seawright to start this off. Again, this is the last chance dance, 2:05 at Darlington. We are 25 laps down. Almost everybody on the same pit strategy, pitting under that last caution about 7 laps ago. Craighead still out front, but Hammond is kind of sticking with him, only about a half second back now. If we look at who's the fastest out there so far, Knox Thompson has the fastest lap of the night with a 29.12. Thompson's back in 7th. After starting out front and then hitting the wall early in the race from the first lap or 2, drifting on back now. Craighead, Hammond, Kiernan, and Anthony also with fast laps here tonight. Those are your top 5 fastest laps of the race so far. But in terms of lap leaders, I mean, it's been Craighead all the way. I think Thompson got that one just by coming to the green flag out front on the pole. So, of the drivers in that must-win situation, Gallman continues to lead. He's back in 8th. Started 12th, though, so moving forward, going the right direction, has been as high as 6th. Gonna need to find some speed and some track position to get that win from here. But we'll keep checking in on the 71. Then the first truck in that red group, drivers who came in just below the cut line, needing to have an exceptional day in points to pass a few drivers. We drifted back after that contact with Seawright. He's already moving back forward. It looks like we just had maybe some more contact. Kiernan, Gallman, and Como all involved a couple laps ago before we jumped over here to the 96. Let's take a look at that. Right here, tight battle with McMillan, Como, and Gallman, and McMillan gets into the wall, and I think all 3 of those trucks are lucky they didn't catch worse than that. That was hard contact. McMillan back in 11th, one of those must-win drivers. But on the charge is Jamie Griffin now up to 10th. I mentioned started with in the back because of a penalty from last race. He is not in a must-win. He actually came in the last playoff spot in 12th. There are going to be 12 drivers in this season's THDesign Truck Series playoffs. But he needs to have a very solid day to ensure he stays there. And Jamie is our only driver tonight who has led us into his house and into his sim rig for the in-car cameras, so we'll be keeping an eye on that camera. I mean, you can see the intensity here. No trucks around him, but even still, he's up to 10th, halfway through the field after starting in the back. Craighead starting to lengthen out his lead as Hammond is now a 1.5 seconds back, so the battle is becoming for this second place. Both Anthony and Chapman are within reach. But the closest battle on track right now is here between Boyd and Kiernan for 6th. We jump on board with the 6 truck. Oh, Boyd hard into the wall. That's going to let Kiernan get a run. See how defensive the 21 is. And right here, you've got a choice to make. You're either going to have to go for the dive bomb or back off. 6 backs off that time. And he's running a little bit too low of a line, in my opinion. I think he's trying to keep clean air on the nose, but in 1 and 2, you've got to get up to the wall in the middle of the turn so you can cut down and get a great exit. And kind of the same here, although Boyd is just riding the wall. That's going to let the 6 get a run. And this is where you can make a pass on the bottom just like that, but you've got to get it done before the middle of the turn. If you get trapped on the bottom, this gets dicey, folks. 21 into the wall. 6 going to prevail. But there's really only space for 1 truck to come off the turn. And I think we have gotten a live chat update from who I believe is Shelton. Said he spilled his drink and was trying not to spill any more. That's why he stopped on pit road. I don't think the 82 is going to be any happier with that explanation. So Kiernan now up to 6th. And the field is dwindling fast as we now only have 15 drivers still out on track. Jones, Kahn, Bolts, Hayes, and Shelton all in trouble. Actually, I think Kahn might have just come back out on track. There he is there. He is 4 laps down. And might be taking it back down pit road. So again, only 15 cars on track, only 10 on the lead lap. Oh, and our leader tags the wall. McMillan tags the wall behind him. And he goes down and hits the inside wall as well. McMillan in 12th, 1 lap down, and can't seem to get off the inside wall. Yeah, there's some damage on that vehicle. The 68 likely going to come to pit road. Unfortunately, I think he's already used his fast repair. Going to have to do this one with the wrench. That fender is loose on the left front, and the wheel is not straight. Certainly not straight. Almost a 3 o'clock there for the 68. His hopes of a win and in at the last chance dance probably going up in smoke here with that heavy contact. Craighead's lead now almost 3 seconds. 10 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Simmons is the first truck, 1 lap down. He's going to be hoping for that lucky dog. If he can hold that position and the leader doesn't lap anyone else. Here as we have that stage coming at lap 60. That's still 18 laps away, though. That's a long time to hope that Craighead doesn't track down Griffin. And now Hammond is on pit road. So that's 23 laps into this run. I thought they could go a little further. We check our pre-race. Yeah, the fuel window is 34 to 38 laps, so I'm not sure why Hammond is in to pit right now. We'll have to check on that. Maybe he'll tell us in the chat. Craighead working on the 53, who is already 1 lap down. Weibel fighting not to go 2 down. When you're 1 lap down, you always have hope that you could get a lucky dog, but 2 laps down, it gets really difficult. So the 53 going to get passed by the leader and go 2 laps down. He's going to need a number of cautions so he can take some waiver rounds or something later in the race to get those back. Aiden Como now up to 7th. And Gallman up to 6th. Again, Gallman's in a must-win. Como needs to have a really good points day to take that last spot away from Griffin, is who came into the race in the last playoff spot in 12th, but we did have a few drivers that didn't start the race that are right on that cut line. One of them, David Culleton, he was 13th, the first car behind Griffin. And the other is John Sellers. He was in 11th, just ahead of Griffin. So I imagine both of those drivers, you know, Culleton has a provisional. I think Sellers has already used his 2 on the season, though. So going to be a tough go for him. And here come a number of drivers onto pit road, including our leader. We might have our fuel numbers wrong up in the booth. Check on that pit strategy. Yeah, so it looks like 27 laps is going to be the window. At least that's what drivers are doing right now. So Coleman Chapman is out front now. In the 07, Como up to 2nd. Griffin up to 3rd. We'll see how far they can stretch this. I mean, all All three of them were running outside the top 5, but on the lead lap. So not a lot to lose here by trying to run long. And now Como is on pit road. And Chapman is slow down on the apron. He's coming this time. That is going to leave Jamie Griffin, the only truck still on the track. And it looks like he's coming this time. He might even be out of fuel as low as he was out of turn 3. Almost contact into the barrels, too. Actually, he might have picked it up. Saw 2 incident points. Let's check on that. Yeah, right here. A little bit of contact. A love tap, if you will, with the wall. With those water barrels. So we'll have to keep an eye on his pit stop time to see if he stays for any extended repairs. But that's going to allow Hammond to inherit the lead. And looking at the pit times, I'm not really sure. I mean, he spent longer on pit road, but he came down 4 laps early. And that was enough to take the lead away. So keep that in your crew chief notebook for later in the race. Short pitting does have a speed advantage. So now Craighead with his first challenge of the night, other than getting around Thompson when that 48 hit the wall earlier. And these two are on an 8-second breakaway. Knox Thompson went with 2 tires to try and gain some track position, and that got the 48 up to 3rd. But these two are gone from the rest of the field, and they're starting to get side by side. Hammond closes the door. The 33 crosses him over. 92 takes it back. 11 laps to go here in stage 1. Both of these drivers with wins on the season. Racing for the winner's trophy and maybe a few extra bonus points to start off the playoffs. Looking at the points, Craighead has already locked up the regular season championship, which comes with a 10-point bonus. Oh, now Hammond into the wall. Hard and back into it. He's stuck on it. Probably just trying to avoid from getting them both involved there. And there's a wreck. Anthony and Khan involved in this one. That will not be staged, as there are still 9 laps to go. If that had come with less than 5 to go, they would have called it staged. So let's take a look. 42 and 47. Oh no, that Mr. Meeseeks going around over the nose. Now look at that. Chapman and Kiernan and Thompson, Boyd, all diving around these 2 spinning trucks. We're definitely going to have to go back and watch some onboard with them. Now let's watch that one again. Maybe from Chapman's view. Jump on board here with the 07, who was watching this all play out. Yeah, a little bit of net code involved. That was pretty good. Pretty good avoidance there by all of these drivers. Now let's try Kiernan. He had to dive low to avoid this. See, just both of those trucks tried to go in side by side in a place on the track that you just can't do it. Turn 1, we talked about it all night. Or I guess that was turn... Yeah, I think it was turn 1. And both trucks check up to stay out of the wall and out of each other, and they just get hung up here with a bit of net code. All right, I promise we'll stop looking at it. But yeah, that's just an incredible job by the 6, the 07. I think the 21 is back behind. And so now some strategy really starting to play out. Hammond came down pit road, opting probably to flip the stage here, stay out when the stage occurs, but has given up the stage bonus point and the stage points possible here. Again, if you win the stage, you're going to get one more playoff point to carry into the next 5 weeks. But you see all those green drivers, they need points. They're going to stay out. So Kiernan, Anthony, and Griffin all in the top 6. In position to get stage points and further cement their playoff hopes. It's going to be about a 6-lap run to the end of the stage. We've got a couple drivers still on pit road. Como, Khan, and Seawright are still in there making repairs. Oh, Como might have picked up some heavy damage here at some point. I did not expect him to take that long of a pit and give up. He's now 2 laps down. So just 11 cars, 11 trucks that is, on the lead lap. No one 1 lap down. Simmons and Como both 2 laps down, so they are racing for the lucky dog. And Wyville has picked up a black flag somewhere in that pit cycle. But we're back green flag racing. Craighead out front, just taking the lead away from these drivers. Now Kiernan and Chapman are side by side. Kiernan going to take it from the bottom. Everybody keeps it out of the wall except for Thompson with just a little bit of a stripe. Now the 21 of Boyd starting to work on Chapman. I think that Chapman taking the fight back to Kiernan now. Gallman and Abu Said in 7th and 8th. They're the first 2 drivers that need to win to advance. Separated by a couple lap cars. Wyville comes down pit road to serve his black flag. That's going to cost him a lap, maybe 2. Chapman trying to find his way around the 6. By the end of this stage, 4 laps to go. He's going to get a run into turn 1, but they're going to be side by side. We've seen this be dangerous all night long. Kiernan not going to give it up. As they come off turn 2. Oh, the 6 and the 21 into the wall. They're still side by side into turn 3. Kiernan in the preferred lane here, but he hits the wall. And Chapman's going to squeeze up in front of him, and Kiernan's going to cross him over. 2 laps to go in stage 1. Coleman pulling away. I wonder if the 6 picked up some damage with that contact, as Boyd is now all over his rear bumper. And Griffin is just watching the show from 5th place. Kiernan, Griffin, and Anthony cannot afford to give up any points here at the end of the stage. If they can get a position, they've got to take it. Griffin doing everything he can to get this position away from the 21. Kiernan gets tight, has to check up. That's going to give Griffin an opportunity here, and he's on the outside. And there's the caution for the stage. And it does look like the 5 snagged the position. I have to go back and check Here, the running order at that caution was Craighead out front, going to take the stage win. Then Chapman, Kiernan, Boyd in fourth, Griffin fifth, Anthony, Gallman, Abu Said, Thompson, and Hammond, the top 10 at the stage. So not really a battle for the lead, but a pretty great bunch of trucks fighting for spots 2 through 6 there. And with that, we're going to take a commercial break here. Get yourself a nice cold beverage or a hot tea, whatever you're into here tonight on this Tuesday night in the Last Chance Dance 205. We'll be right back. You won't mix any action. We'll go side by side and be back for the start of the second and final stage here at Darlington for the THDesign Truck Series. Welcome back to the coverage of the Last Chance Dance 205 at Darlington here on GECE NASCAR YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, keeping up with us in the chat. Let us know who you're pulling for. Let us know who you think is going to win, if that's any different. And what do you expect to see here in the final stage? We did have two trucks, I'm getting that wrong all night, who flipped the field. Flip the stage, that is. And they are going to start out front. It's the number 2 of Abu Said and the 92 of Hammond. They both get a great start with some pushes from behind. And the 2 truck takes the lead. Everyone stays out of the wall on this first lap of the final stage. 87 laps to go. We got a lot of racing left to do. Right now, Abu Said out front, leading Hammond. Griffin into the wall. He's going to lose a couple spots. Now Boyd into the wall. And up front, Hammond making a move up high. Coming out of turn 4, going to have a great run. Gets in front of the 2. Abu Said tucks in behind him just off the nose of Kiernan and Chapman. Then Kiernan makes a bold move there to slide up in front of him. The 2 looked like he had speed out front, but now back in traffic, under fire. Again, the 2 truck in a must-win situation to get into the playoffs after this race here at Darlington. Almost 3 wide behind them. As Thompson and Griffin try to go around the 2 down low. McMillan with contact. Now Gallman hits the wall. Anthony dives underneath him. The start of the stage has been wild. Trucks in the wall. Passes all through the field. Chapman now going after Kiernan. He's going to let him have it. Then Boyd tags the wall. That's going to let Thompson by. Up to 4th. Feel like that 48's been dealing with some damage here most of the race. Got it fixed up under the stage brake and is now on the charge. Maybe just biding their time. Started on the pole, currently running 4th. Look at our biggest gainers. Griffin and Kiernan both up double digits from the beginning of the race. Kiernan in 3rd, Griffin in 7th. Chapman also up 6 positions to get to 2nd. A lot of good racing here tonight. Hammond out front. Almost a half-second lead. Let's do our team rundown here. Hammond is leading the way. Oh, big contact. Boyd, Craighead, and Griffin all involved in something that last lap. We'll come back to the team rundown. They keep it clean. No yellow. Well, let's go back and see what happened. Boyd's contact might be unrelated to the other 2. Now you can just see. There it is. Craighead down low on Griffin, and they get together. Yeah, no harm, no foul there. I don't think either of them picked up too heavy of damage. And then they both kissed the wall again the next time around. So Anthony has also gotten around Griffin now. After that contact with the wall slowed him down. Now we've got contact between Abu Said, Gallman, and Baltz this last lap. Oh, they're 3 wide. That's not going to fit. And Gallman goes around. We got big crashes. There's the caution. Then Weibel and Abu Said get together. Then Como. I mean, this one just keeps getting worse. Let's go back to how that one started. And Baltz just catches these 2 trucks with a head of steam, and his only place to go is to the outside, but that puts them 3 wide. And then they just get into a game of pinball. Everybody going around. Simmons weaves his way through that one. Como gets caught up in it. Weibel gets caught up in it. So that is really going to shake things up. As the field continues to dwindle with cars that have not had damage and have not had to use a fast repair. At this point, we have 10 cars on the lead lap. Simmons should be getting the lucky dog. That'll make it 11 cars on the lead lap. And 7 of those 11 still have a fast repair if they need it. Baltz is going to pick up the meatball. He's likely out of this one. And you kind of saw it there. The 2 truck stays out and seems to do fine for a lap or 2 up front with clean air, and then just starts to drop through the field. And sometimes it caught 2 drivers at the same time. They go 3 wide. They're just not going to be able to go 3 wide at Darlington pretty much anywhere on the track. So it's still Abu Said and Gallman are the trucks that are in must-win Kiernan, Anthony, and Griffin are the ones that just need to have a pretty good day. And then Como and Wyval, they either need to have a phenomenal day or win this thing. Meanwhile, most of the laps have been led by either Craighead or Hammond, and they're both locked in. They can go all out for the win, and that's kind of what we're seeing from their speed. But again, the way that stage played out, Hammond and Abu Said stayed out at the stage because they had come down and pitted under the caution that happened 8 laps beforehand. That put them at a slight tire disadvantage, but it didn't seem to bother the 92. Then Craighead actually took a slightly long stop at the stage. Whether he had a little bit of damage to repair or just needed to grab a drink or a bathroom break, either way, he came out at the back of the lead lap, which is where he is now. He did the same thing that time with almost a minute on pit road. I imagine the 33 got some damage with it. Contact with the 5. The 5 kind of in the same situation. About a minute on pit road that time around. We'll check our Wrench Wrangler stats. I mean, McMillan is still out there. He's 13 laps down, but he's had 8 minutes of damage. Bolts with 8 minutes repaired well as well, but he's out of this thing. Seawright with 7 minutes. He's 11 laps down, still out there running. Wyval with 3 minutes. Abu Said is in the top 10 with over a minute and a half of repairs done. Griffin with a good bit. And Craighead with a minute and a half as well. So Hammond going to take the green flag and try to run away with it again. And it's already an incredible fight for second place. Kiernan, Chapman, and Thompson. They are really doing everything they can to get 3 wide, but that is not going to work. Chapman takes away second place from Kiernan. Now Thompson on the inside. Down into turn 1. Is he going to be able to take it away? He does. I think Kiernan let him have it that time around. The 6 playing the long game here again. Just needs a solid points day to make the playoffs. Now drifting back to Boyd and Anthony. Craighead and Griffin both went to the back of the lead lap with an extended stop there on that last pit stop. Craighead up to 8th. Griffin still in 10th. Simmons did pick up the lucky dog. Now Boyd trying to get around the 6 car. 6 truck. God, that one's gotten me all night. Make that the drinking game. Here you can see how hard they're fighting. The trucks look like a handful. A lot of sawing on the wheel. Oh, and then into the wall for the 21. He's got Anthony in his mirror. And you can see kind of 2 approaches here. There, Boyd just got low too early in 3 and 4. Drifts up to the wall right at exit and has to check up. Whereas Kiernan was able to dive down off the wall on exit, and that's the way you want to do it. And the throttle input is also completely different than a regular kind of 1.5-mile track. In 1 and 2, you get back in the gas really early, and then you lift from maybe the last 10% of the turn to help that truck rotate down off the turn. This is a great shot here as Kiernan is starting to pull back away from Michael Boyd and try to chase down those trucks in front of them, which is Hammond and Chapman. The 06 gets really loose on exit. Catches it. Boyd gets a great run on him and kind of gives him a break there. I think the 6 threw a block after slowing down. The 21 didn't seem to appreciate it. He's still looking to the inside. 6 going to throw the block again. all those onboard shots, you can just see how hard the drivers are working and how close these trucks are when they're battling. Boyd trying to get a run again. Again, this is the battle for 4th place. Closest battle on the track right now. Let's get back to that team rundown. So it's Thompson out front. Really pulling away here. Drove right up there and took it on that last restart. Chapman in second. Great run here for the 07. Really hasn't dropped outside the top 5 most of the race. Started 8th, but quickly moved up to get into contention. Then Hammond currently running 3rd. Had one part of the race where he dipped down, but that was to flip the stage. He's gotten back into the top 3. Kiernan started 13th. He's just been fighting up all night long. We see Anthony try to make a move on Boyd. And Anthony's had a little more of an up and down night. He puts Boyd in the wall a little bit. Elbows out here halfway through the race. 65 to go. Anthony got as high as 2nd. Currently running 5th. Try to chase down the 6th ahead of Boyd. And Boyd has been just kind of stuck right here from 4th to 7th. Pretty much the whole race. And now he's just getting into the wall. You got to think there's a little bit of damage now on this 21. You get into the wall once, that's just Darlington. You get into the wall 2 or 3 times in a row, and then you got to worry about the truck. And back in 7th is Cameron Craighead. I mean, if this shows us anything, it's that traffic is not as easy to get through as we would have expected. The 33 was dominating this race early out front. Smacks the wall there. And ever since getting some damage and dropping back, I think right around the end of the, after picking up the stage win, has struggled to break into the top 5. They're in the wall again. Like I said, you get in the wall once, that's just Darlington. A couple times in a row, you might have a problem on whether it's just aero, but I mean, you can see everybody smacking the wall. Seawright and McMillan hard into the wall that time. The next truck in line by position is Kenneth Dahlman running 8th. Dahlman in a must win, but has not been able to break into the top 5 all night long, as high as 6th. Currently in 8th. Might need some pit strategy or some late race cautions to give the 71 a chance here. Simmons in 9th. He picked up the lucky dog on the last caution. Trying to get something done with it. Gotten up to 9th after starting 7th. Then Abu Saeed running back in 10th. We saw him stay out to get some track position and then back up through the field, and sometimes through dangerous fashion, and whoa, almost loses the handle of that truck there into Griffin. He's going to lose the position instead. So now Griffin back up to 10th, and this chart is heading in the wrong direction here in the last half of this run. We mentioned the stats. Jamie has won 3 times here in GEC. No other active driver in the race has a win. No other active driver in GEC, including the Cup Series, has a win at Darlington, I believe. We'll have to see if Jamie's got something else in his bag of tricks, whether it's going to be pit strategy or something else here. Now, some of these drivers are going to need to come into pit here soon. We're about 30 laps into this run. saw earlier that the kind of the longest anybody was going was 27, 29 laps. Expect to see some folks on pit road here sometime soon. It should be a 2-stop race here in this final stage. But pitting under green loses you at least 1 lap, maybe 2, so it's a big gamble to try and short pit. But we saw it give Hammond the lead earlier in stage 1. McMillan into the wall again. And there it was. While we were just talking about who's going to pit first, actually Hammond and Craighead both pitted on lap 90 3 laps ago. And have come back out 1 lap down, but Hammond has the lucky dog, so Craighead in a precarious position. Does not want to sit here and let Hammond take a lucky dog if we do have a caution and get stuck 1 lap down. I expect the 33 to put the fight to the 92 pretty fast. Now Chapman coming down pit road, as is Boyd. Thompson, though, still out front. Oh, coming this time. 47 going to come in, too. Everybody getting on pit road safely. No black flags yet this run. Kiernan in. Thompson in. Anthony in. Just about everybody coming this time. Simmons has inherited the lead with Griffin 1 second back. We saw both of these trucks kind of run long on the earlier green flag run. Griffin definitely trying to get everything he can to keep Hammond and Craighead trapped a lap down. Now Thompson, Anthony, Gallman, Kiernan, everybody coming except Griffin, and Simmons just makes it. He thought about it for a second. So Jamie Griffin out front. Trying to stretch this run as long as he can. Looks like he's coming this time. I want to thank Jamie again for giving us this webcam access tonight so we can ride along with the 5 truck. You see just how intense it is to get onto pit road fast here at Darlington. You get down on the apron, there's no banking at all. It makes it a pretty decent challenge. Now back to the track trivia we mentioned a little bit earlier. Abu Saeed also coming in. He was in second, so Thompson going to inherit the lead back. Just ahead by about 2 seconds of Hammond, and then another half second back to Craighead. But you're looking at the track map shape and you're wondering, why is Darlington shaped like an egg instead of like a regular oval? When they built the track back in the day, there was a fishing pond just off of turn 3, and they did not want to move it. It might have, I can't remember the details. It might have been a property ownership dispute or whatever, but either way, they were not allowed to get rid of the fishing pond. So they actually just kind of squeezed that into the track to make it fit around the pond. And that gave us this super unique track here at Darlington. The other thing that always blows my mind is when they built the track, there were no walls. They expected drivers to race down on the flat apron, assuming that would be the fastest way around, and the banking was there to save them if they spun out. But it only took drivers a race or two to figure out it was faster to run up on the banking. And you can check YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, whatever you like. There's a ton of videos of cars going up and over the banking here at Darlington. And then they finally put some walls in, and that's how we got the Darlington stripe. Cars and trucks still trying to go up and over that hill to be fast. So Thompson is pulling away. The 48 waited an additional 5 laps to pit. over Hammond and Craighead, and that is showing up now in the speed of these tires. But I believe we'll have to check here. I think Craighead actually just beat Thompson's fastest lap a couple laps ago after that pit stop, and here it is right here. Yeah, Craighead now fastest lap all night long, a 29:08. And in sim time, we're past 11 p.m. here, so the track is just going to keep cooling down and getting a little bit of speed. Air temp 68, track temp 72. Very humid, though. It's more of a driver comfort thing. It's been quite a race so far. We've had 7 lead changes and 4 cautions. Now, 2 of those were the stages. We've had a lot of wrecks and spins that did not bring out a caution. First stage was 60 laps. We got to see 1 green flag pit cycle there. We've just seen another one here in the final stage. 48 laps to go. Going to be 1 more stop for everybody. If it stays green, might be a few more stops. If it gets more complicated than that, we have 9 cars on the lead lap. We just saw Michael Boyd go a lap down to the leader of Thompson. Abba Saeed has gone a lap down. Como has gotten a lap back, but is going to have to pit here in just a couple laps and go back to 2 laps down, I believe. So Boyd sitting in the lucky dog position. Griffin up to 7th. And Gallman now in 9th, the first of those must-win trucks. But kind of looking at this color scheme, you can see the drivers that came in ahead of the cut line, needing to have a solid day, are doing exactly what they needed to. Kiernan, Anthony, and Griffin all on the lead lap, all in the top 7. I believe they all got stage points as well. They should be sitting pretty. But if you're Como or Weibel, you're in trouble. You need laps back to even be in a situation to gain positions. So I think if the 6, 42, and 5 can just avoid any disasters in the rest of this race, they are going to make the playoffs here in the THDesign Truck Series without having to worry about it. Take a peek at our schedule. We've wrapped up the regular season here at Darlington. Next week it's going to be an all-star race, still yet to be announced what that will be or what format it'll be. Usually we'd have 1 all-star race for Truck and Cup combined, but with the participation level we've had this season, I don't know if that'll be possible. We might have to have individual ones. Stay posted in the Discord for an announcement about that. Then as the playoffs kick off, I mean, it is a gauntlet of tracks. Starts with Martinsville. Get your hot dogs and get ready for some cautions, I imagine. Going to be short track racing right off the bat. See who can survive, who can muscle their way through the field to get a victory, pick up that grandfather clock. Then we head off to Talladega, the wild card of the playoffs, where your team is really going to matter the most. We've got so many teams here, both in the Truck and Cup Series with 3, 4, 5 drivers. It's going to be really exciting to see how those teams compete, how they plan out their pit stops. Figure that one out. Then it's off to Kentucky and Michigan. Kind of a more typical 1.5-mile, 2-mile intermediate track racing, the bread and butter of the NASCAR series. Then we're going to end it at a track I don't think we've ever raced before here at GEC, the Milwaukee Mile. And that should be an exciting way to wrap up the season, both the Truck and Cup, with the same playoff schedule to wrap this one up. Right now, there's nobody even within a second of the driver in front of them. So we'll go ahead and finish that team breakdown that we started before the caution. Knox Thompson out there racing for Fish Motorsport. We're going to have to do some recruiting. We got a lot of teams with still some open slots. No reason to be out there racing alone, but hey, representing Fish Motorsports well. Then in second place, Hammond is leading the way for Infield Legends. In second, Abbasid back in 10th. The 1 lap down. Now in the Lucky Dog position is the two truck. And Khan back in 13th. 7 laps down, but still running after some early catastrophes. Then in third, Cameron Craighead leading the way for Skidmark Motorsports. Of the 4 trucks out there, they're all in the top 10, all on the lead lap right now. Pretty solid day for Skidmark. Not to mention, I think 3 of those drivers are in a great position to make the playoffs. So they're going to have the numbers. Then in fourth, Coleman Chapman leading the way for Dirty South Racing. Michael Boyd in 11th. He's going to need to get past Abba Saeed to be in position for the Lucky Dog, but still a pretty solid day for DSR. Then Jamie Griffin in 7th place. Lone truck for North Star PC Racing. One of the oldest teams here at GEC. And 8th is Kyle Simmons, the only truck out there for Outlaw Performance tonight. Saw him pick up the Lucky Dog earlier. Now starting to battle with Griffin for 7th place. In 12th place, Aiden Como, the only truck in tonight's race for Racing Edge, a team that is officially retiring here, kind of mid-season. Still flying the banners, though, right now. We've got 2 drivers in the Truck Series, 1 driver left in the Cup Series. And then I think the only other, we got 2 more teams here. We got a couple. JWR Motorsports, Jonas Seawright out there in 15th. Saw him involved in some early cautions. Not having the day he needed. But I do believe Seawright is locked into the playoffs on points, so shouldn't be too much to worry about. Robert McMillan, the only truck out there tonight for IT and Out Esports Group. Again, just another driver that had early trouble, heavy damage into the wall a handful of times, but still out there 14 laps down. And now Craighead just picked up a meatball flag. This is going to shake things up. He's in the pits. Let's see what happened here. Racing with Chapman. And contact sends the 33 hard into the wall. He comes right to pit road. Not before hitting the inside wall first, then takes the toe. Wow. Let's see that one again. They're side by side, and this is off turn 2, so you're kind of, like we've mentioned all night, you've got to shoot down off the wall to make the turn, and Chapman's trapped on the bottom. He doesn't have the option to turn down any lower. He's already out of grip, and that takes Craighead out of the race. Effectively, already 3 laps down. He had burned his fast repair earlier in the race. Does not have that to lean on. Big shakeup for our points leader. He is still going to clinch the regular season championship and bonus points heading into next week at Martinsville, but not going to be able to win here at Darlington. So Thompson now with an 11-second lead. We saw that 48 come out of the pits with about a 2.5-second lead and a 5-lap tire advantage over Hammond, and he's just driving away. Now, we will have to check with this, as I mentioned, that if you get a win, you're in the playoffs as long as you meet the minimum number of races, which I believe is 5. Thompson has only raced 3 races so far this season. Did pick up a win in one of them. But after this race, it'll only be 4. I don't think Thompson's going to be playoff eligible, actually. We've got him colored purple because of that win, but I don't think Thompson is actually eligible because he's only going to have 4 races. So Thompson just out here trophy hunting and doing a pretty good job of it so far with 30 laps to go here in the last chance dance 205. The battle starting to shape up as Chapman is catching the field. Is involved in that contact with Craighead and has now caught Hammond. Boyd has come to pit road. It's going to put him a lap down. Actually, 3 laps down now. I think Boyd was already 1 lap down racing with Abu Saeed for the lucky dog, so he's hit pit road. And we're right at that pit window again as now these guys are getting around Abu Saeed. A little bit of a dicey moment. They're almost 3 wide. Check that pit strategy again. Yeah, I mean, the furthest we've seen anyone go is 33, 34, 36 laps. Right now, Hammond at 32, so he's going to be coming to pit road here sometime soon. And the window is open. Anyone who pits from here on out can make it to the end without having to stop again. Kiernan smacks the wall. Keeps it straight, though. And Chapman going to go around Hammond on the outside. That's for second. Still a 12-second gap between these two and Thompson, the leader. But I think Thompson's coming to pit road. Griffin also on pit road, along with Hammond and Kahn. So that's going to leave Chapman out front, out on the track. 30 laps into the run for the 07. Now they can wait a couple laps, but we've seen the speed be worth short pitting. And there you see the 07 coming this time. It's going to leave Kiernan. I think Kiernan and Anthony are also coming this time. We'll see if Anthony makes it. He went a little wide. There he is. He's going to fit. And Gallman now out there, and Gallman might be out of fuel. As slow as that 71 is moving. Oh, he's still running. Just looked abnormally slow getting on pit road. So Thompson should inherit the lead here. And there it is. 48 takes the lead. We'll see if anyone tried to pull any fancy pit strategy on this. So far, it looks like everybody took 4 tires, as you needed almost a full tank to make it from here. Thompson comes out with a 12-second lead over Hammond. Hammond did get around Chapman through that pit cycle. And yeah, everybody going with 4 tires from Thompson through Boyd. There are only 8 cars on the lead lap now. Make that 7. Gallman now a lap down. Now what a race. So Thompson starts on the pole. Loses the lead pretty quickly after getting in the wall, then drifts back through the first caution to about 11th. then has some up and down moments, then makes it back to the front around lap 80 and has been pretty much in the lead ever since. Hammond raced up to second there in the first stage, pitted early to flip it, took the lead away from Craighead, led 17 laps, and then ever since Thompson came out in front, Hammond has not had the speed to catch that 48. Chapman been all over the top 5 leaderboard the whole race, has led 5 laps, and then around the lap 100 started marching to the front. Was involved with an incident with Craighead. Craighead had won stage 1 and was working his way back to the front before picking up a meatball flag from that contact. He's out of the race. Chapman in third had gotten past Hammond under green flag and then lost that position back through the pit cycle. Kiernan has been fighting forward all night. Has not led any laps, but got as high as second. Now riding fourth. All those trucks, the next 3 anyway behind him, are all lap down, not for position. Next truck for position is the 42 of Anthony. Kind of the same as Kiernan, been bouncing around the top 10. The top 5 has not led any laps though. Now working through lap traffic. Como and McMillan going hard. Anthony trying to find his way through. 6th place is Griffin. He has led some laps by staying out late on a green flag cycle. And after starting in the back, just seems to be stuck right around 5th or 6th here in the second part of the race. He might have his fingers crossed for a caution. To tighten things up here at the end of the race. 18 laps to go. Simmons is in 7th. Started 7th. Dropped back real quick at the beginning. Fought all the way up to 2nd at one point through a pit cycle. He's now sitting in 7th position. Solid in the top 10. And is the last car on the lead lap. Gallman, in a must-win situation, is stuck a lap down, but in the lucky dog position. Another truck with their fingers crossed for a caution to spice things up here at the end. And then Boyd getting a little bit of damage, having to make repairs that dropped him out of the top 5, back to 11th. Now he's in 9th. 3 laps down. So pretty much everybody who is not Thompson is hoping for a caution here so that they can get a shot at this thing. But all those drivers in green, again, doing their job, having solid, consistent performance in the top 10, getting stage points. Now all in the top 7. I think they've done their job. And if this stays green, I think Thompson's going to have to hit the wall about 3, 4, 50 times to slow down enough for Hammond and Chapman to catch him. We jump on board with the 48, see if we can learn something, especially with the Cup Series race on Thursday. There might be a line or a breaking point here I can learn from. Again, pretty typical. You dive down low on the entry to 1, drift up to the wall, and then cut back down right here with a little bit of a lift to make the corner exit at 2. Then you're going to enter high. Oh, or a little low. Okay. Drift up to the wall. Out of the gas for a long time, and then about half throttle all the way off the turn till here. Again, Knox not under any pressure. Just turning laps. Check out our fastest 5 for 5. So right now, the fastest drivers on the track, it's Chapman who's turning the fastest laps consistently, and Kiernan, they're both in 3rd and 4th. Gallman in 8th. And Anthony in 5th. All running faster laps than the leader. but with an 11-second lead. You know, a couple hundredths here and there doesn't mean too much. I'll take a second to mention our sponsors here at the THDesign Truck Series. Of course, THDesigns. Also, Laughing Llama Wraps. Two very nice painters here in the league, both of them drivers as well. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. One of our steady sponsors here at GEC. And there's the caution. With 11 laps to go, we're going to have to reset and try this again. Kiernan, big contact and a meatball flag. Might end the night for the 6. We'll see what happened here. Just coming off the turn and hits the wall hard, gets all the way sideways. Oh, and then almost head on into the inside wall. That is going to end the race for the 6 car. And on top of that, he picked up a black flag somehow, getting onto pit road. So not what Lee wanted to see. But again, at this stage of the race, you're pushing hard, but the 6 didn't need to. We've been talking about it all night, that Kieran, Anthony, and Griffin didn't need to do anything above and beyond. They just needed to have a solid points day. So with 11 laps to go, Kiernan will likely fall back to 13th position. There are a number of drivers still racing that are 12 laps down. I think all of those drivers, if they stay where they are and keep running, will pass Kiernan in the leaderboard by the end of this thing. So a costly mistake as he drops, 5 or 6 positions here right at the end. And I see Caleb Ellswick in the chat calling out something I mentioned a little earlier. Yeah, the 48 does not have enough starts to be playoff eligible, but was looking to get the second win of the season for the 48 in 4 races. So we might see the 48 back out on track, but not going to be in contention for the championship. And there we see the 42 of Anthony has rolled the dice and has stayed out. Pitted 16 laps ago. We've seen that even as little as a 5, 6, or 7 lap difference in tires has really made a difference in speed. And who's really upset that Anthony stayed out is going to be Como, Boyd, McMillan, all of them hoping for waiver rounds right here. And they're not going to get it if the 42 stays out on track. Now, at this point, I think Anthony was running 6th anyway. There's only 7 cars, 7 trucks on the lead lap. So even if he drops all the way to the back on these old tires, he only lost 1 position. And is still going to have a top 10 finish that should be good to get him into the playoffs. So why not take a chance here? I think the bad news is everybody else came in and took tires. So Thompson is going to be beside the 42, and Hammond is going to be behind him. 2 drivers that have shown raw speed all day, and they are not going to have any patience to wait on that 42 to be slow on their bumper. They both know they need to go, and they need to go now. Jamie Griffin is up to 5th. We're coming to the green, so we're going to jump on board with Jamie. Again, the driver tonight gave us access to the cameras. We're going to watch the intensity of this restart through the eyes of the 5 truck. And he's also in that outside lane behind Anthony on the old tires, so we'll see how that affects the inside versus outside line. And there they go, the 5 now with a great start. That's going to leave Simmons getting a run on the bottom. Anthony is in the lead and is pulled away. Thompson in second. Oh, contact between Simmons and Chapman. Griffin's going to get a run. I thought he might put him 3 wide, but he opted to lift and play it safe. Now Anthony's in the wall. Thompson is taking the lead down low. And the race is on. 6 laps remaining here at Darlington. And at this point, Anthony has got to be slowing down Hammond as Thompson gets away. Now Anthony hard into the wall. A little bit of contact with Chapman. And Griffin gets turned as he tries to get by the 42. No caution. We stay green. Hammond in second. Chapman in third. Simmons now fourth. I'm going to go back real quick. Take a look at what just happened here. Anthony gets into the wall. Then hits Chapman. Oh, and then Griffin just tries to thread the needle, but there's not enough room. And there's another caution as Shelton, as McMillan, Khan, Weibel, Abu Said, and Shelton all involved in some more contact. Let's check that. Looks like McMillan tags the wall, and that checks up this group. Weibel, I think, got the worst of it. Then McMillan into the wall again. After the fact, let's ride along with the 53 this time. Right there, gets turned by Khan as they almost get squeezed 3 wide. Then Abu Said cleans him out on the way through. And drivers that were having bad days already just picking up more and more damage here. And that is all happening with just 5 laps to go. So this will likely set us up for a green-white checker. Thompson is the leader. Hammond is second. Chapman in third. Simmons in fourth. And Griffin in fifth. And this is a second breath of life here for the 5 as he made contact trying to squeeze through 3 wide with the slow car of Anthony bouncing off the wall. I think it was Simmons all the way at the bottom. And those 3 just mistimed it. And then a caution right immediately afterward. Continues to shake up the field. Boyd has picked up the lucky dog. So that's going to make 8 cars on the lead lap. Abu Said will be the next truck in that lucky dog position, 3 laps down though. And the question I'd say here is anyone going to pit? Now, if you're Anthony, you've got damage. You're pitting. If you're Griffin, you know, do you give up 1 position to Gallman to check on that damage? And if you're Chapman or Simmons, I mean, everyone just pitted 6 laps ago. Are you just going to keep your track position, or are you going to take a gamble on tires? It looks like everybody's just going to stay out. Dance with who you got. Who brought you to the dance here at the end? The last chance dance, 2:05. 1 lap to green. Will be a green-white checker. Our first attempt of the evening. Again, I want to thank everybody out there for watching. If you're enjoying the action tonight in the THDesigns Truck Series, hit that subscribe and like button. And then come join us on Thursday night. The Cup Series will be here at Darlington as well. And there's I just have a feeling that the drivers around the cut line there are going to be a little more cutthroat than this truck race has been. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that. The regular season championship is locked up in the Cup Series as well by Malone. But there is a bit of a battle for second and third left to go. No bonus points for second and third, but a lot of pride on the line. So we're coming back to the line one more time, maybe the last time tonight. Pace car is in, and it's going to be Thompson. Oh, we've already got cars going around. That's Gallman out into the wall. But we stay green, so Thompson takes the lead. Hammond in second. Chapman and Simmons close behind. Do they have anything for the 48, who's led 64 laps of this 150? Hammond is right there, thinking about contact, trying to figure out how to get a run. Chapman tags the wall. White flag in the air. Hammond is in position if he can just find his way around. But Thompson hitting the marks. Perfection off of 2 as Hammond's into the wall. Still with a run. They're wrecking in the back. Chapman throws it in. Slides up into the wall. Hammond is not going to get there. And Knox Thompson is going to lead 66 laps and take the win here at the Last Chance Dance 205. Second win of the season in 4 races competed in. Hammond comes home second. Chapman third. And Griffin and Anthony do their job on points. They both come home with a top 6. On top of the stage points they grabbed earlier, they should be good into the playoffs. Gallman and Abu Saeed not able to get the win that they needed to make their way into the playoffs. But Thompson, our winner, not going to be playoff eligible, but is going to get the race win tonight. They're in the 48, that John Deere machine looking sharp on the front stretch. And we're going to chat with all 3 of our podium drivers out there tonight, and anybody else who wants to jump up into the booth. Drivers making it into the playoffs, Griffin, Anthony, etc. We'll see how that plays out for Kiernan. He has finished 11th after that late race wreck. We'll see how the points work out for them. And it looks like Shelton joining in the celebration here with Thompson. And we'll see who we can get up in the booth with us now. Looks like we already might have our race winner of Knox Thompson. Knox, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
How you doing? I mean, you dominated the laps led with 66, and then you just come out here, win your second race of the season in just 4 starts. Tell us about it.
I'm starting to like these technical tracks. Got Darlington, got Rockingham. I risked it. I didn't pit on that first green flag run. I almost went a lap down, and it ended up working. Got 11-second lead. Caution came out. Got a decent lead again. Caution came out. I was really scared those last few laps, but I got it done. Feels really nice.
I mean, you said you got a decent lead. I think 12 seconds is a lot more than decent. How were you able to build such a large gap between these other drivers on that run?
Strategy played a big play. I didn't take tires on that first green flag stop. Caution came out. I only took them once in the first stage, which let me take them in that other caution at beginning stage 2. Stage 2 when like 20 laps in, they couldn't take them. I took the tires, got a good lead, and then the caution came out, got another good lead, and then caution came out again, and I was really scared. So glad to get another one under my belt coming into the playoffs.
Yeah, looking good out there. I think the good news, bad news here is that I don't think you're going to meet the playoff eligibility of 5 race participation heading in, but you have picked up your second win in 4 starts. So, I mean, you're doing great. Are we going to see you more full-time next season maybe?
I was told by Jamie I was able to run, but I don't know. So I'll be definitely full-time next season, hoping I will find my way to get in the playoffs this season if I could probably I feel like I'm good enough to be in there. I've won 2 races. Feel like it would be good for me to be in there, and feel like good competition with Craighead. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there might be some more conversations I'm not aware of, but well, yeah, definitely something to figure out there. But yeah, I mean, you're just showing raw speed and really got it done here tonight. It looked like Craighead was going to be the competition. He got caught up in a couple incidents and contacts there, got pulled out of the race, and then Hammond was right on the bumper heading into turn 1 on the final lap. But you're just able to run the perfect line and hold him off. Congratulations on the win. Anybody else you want to send some shout outs and thanks to before we let you get out of here?
To thank all my family watching. My phone was blowed up after I took the checkered flag. I'd like to thank everybody for racing me good. This league, amazing league, and just all the fans watching on the TV or phone.
Well, we appreciate you coming out and kind of schooling us tonight here at Darlington in the Last Chance Dance 205. Congratulations again, and we'll see you out there sometime soon, whether it's next week or next season, either way.
All right, 10-4.
Let's see if we can get Hammond or Chapman up here. Before we wrap this up, Hammond led 17 laps, came home second. I don't see him in the chat, so I don't think we're going to get to talk to Hammond. I'm looking for Chapman now. He's down in the DSR room. Let's see if we can pull him in. Hey, Coleman, this is Shane up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Sorry to pull you in, but I just wanted to make sure we had a chance to chat with you. It looks like Hammond's also joined us, so we'll talk the 07 first. You bring it home third. It was hard racing out there, some strategy at times, and big gaps at other times, and then 3 wide. I mean, just walk us through your night. It was a wild one.
Man, it was. A lot of times I was trying to pit with the leaders there, and then I'd miss pit road, and I was like, well, I guess I'll run another lap. So I'd done that twice, and that kind of got us behind. Then those cautions came out, and I was like, all right, here we go. Here's my chance. And then I wasn't trying to run over Jonathan because I knew he ran me clean all year, and I knew he was going to anyways. So I didn't want to do something to him he wouldn't do to me. So I tried to stay off of him as much as possible, and then got into the wall a little bit there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was anybody who didn't get into the wall at least 5 or 6 times pretty hard tonight. Everybody was doing it, trying to find speed. I mean, it was a pretty late night race. Did the track change too much from start to finish on you?
Not a lot. There towards the end, I was pushing a little hard, but it did make tire saving a little harder there towards the end of the race, just being how much gripped up it was. But other than that, man, it really was about the same all race.
Well, you look good out there racing that 07 truck. You're heading into the playoffs now. What do you got for him at Martinsville?
Be honest, I've never ran a truck there. I've ran some late model races there and finished top 3 in a lot of them. So hopefully I'll be okay to transfer it over to the truck. So we'll see.
All right. Well, congratulations again on the podium finish. We'll see you out there next week. Anybody else you want to thank before we get you out of here?
Appreciate it. Yeah, I want to thank Alexander Auto, Duckworth Barbecue Co., Linger Lures, Select Seal Coating, and Dirty South Racing for giving a crazy good truck every week. Just a lot of learning as a driver is biggest thing of what I need to do. But I really want to thank all of them and all of you at GEC. Y'all do a great job with this league, keeping it under control, and a lot of good racers running it. But other than that, I want to thank my family, my fiance, for letting me do it on Tuesday nights when I got my late model over in the shop that needs to be worked on.
Yeah, I think it takes a partner that's willing to let you follow your passions and get it done here. You got it done pretty well here tonight with a 3rd place finish. Congratulations again. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it. See you next week. Great job, Jonathan.
All right, now for the driver of the 92, coming home second. Had him within his sights there on the last 2 laps, not quite able to get the pass done. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, this was a hard track, not one of my favorite tracks. But I will take a second place finish. But it was mostly a strategy, saving those tires. I just thought short pitting most of the pits were just the best option because it's just so hard to pass here. So I figured the best passing is in the pits. So some of the strategy kind of helped in my favor. It's definitely hard to drive and count some numbers, see when you should pit at the same time. But we got it done. I definitely could have probably done a little better strategy, but it was a good night overall.
Yes, sir. I mean, we saw you do that short pit thing and gain a position or two multiple times, but there at the end of the race, 10 to go or so, you're 11 seconds behind Thompson. Are you hoping for a caution, or are you just saying, hey, I'm happy to get out of here with second? And then once they re-rack them, how dangerous were you willing to be to try and take the win?
To be honest, yeah, I was just happy with second. Like I said, I don't love this track, but it's definitely a hard track to drive. But I was happy to take second. But once that caution came out, yeah, it was all hell was about to break loose. I know I was gonna send it in there, get a little physical if I had to. But it just never fails me hitting the wall coming out of 2 on the last lap. And if I would have got back to the rear end, I was probably gonna rattle his cage a little, give him a little bump. But I'll take a second place finish. Can't complain being the first place loser all the time, I guess.
Oh, yeah. So we're getting ready to head into the playoffs now. You got Martinsville and Talladega to kick it off. Which tracks are you looking forward to? Which ones are you a little worried about?
After Martinsville, I like all the tracks after that. Martinsville, feel like it's kind of the same thing with Darlington. I just got to get some practice, and I feel like I'll be good on there. But haven't ran a truck on Martinsville in I don't know how long.
Well, congratulations again here on the second place finish. We'll have to see exactly how the points play out. You might have snagged second away from Boyd in the points, as he had struggled there, but then ended up in 7th anyway. So we'll have to follow up on that. But anybody else you want to thank before we wrap this one up?
I want to thank Chevy and Infield Legends giving me a fast truck like always. I want to thank my fans in the broadcast or in the booth, or not in the booth, in the broadcast, whatever. And I want to thank the broadcast booth and also my team members for doing a good race. And this was a hard track, and I'm glad they at least finished the whole race.
Yes, sir. Well, congratulations again. We'll see you out there next week. We've got the All-Star race coming up before the playoffs start. I know we haven't announced what that's going to be yet, but look forward to seeing what you can do there, and hope you have a good week.
Sounds good.
All right. That is going to wrap up our post-race interviews and the Last Chance Dance 205 here at Darlington. It's now past midnight in sim time. And again, Griffin and Anthony doing their job, what they need to do. Kieran anyway have to do some math to see if he made the playoffs. But Como, Weibel, Gallman, Abbasid not having the night they needed. We'll just have to see how the bonus points and any penalties play out here in the final points. We'll take one more look at our race results. Thompson, Hammond, Chapman on the podium. Then Simmons and Griffin round out your top 5. Anthony, Boyd, Gallman, Abu Said, Como, your top 10. Seawright, Kahn, Kiernan, Weibel, McMillan Jr., Craighead, Bolts, Jones, Shelton, and Hayes. I'm going to wrap up your 20 truck field for tonight. I want to thank you for watching. As always, tune in on Thursday for our Cup Series, and then next week we'll be announcing what our all-star race strategy will be, and then in 2 weeks we'll be at Martinsville to kick off the playoffs here in the THDesigns Truck Series for the GEC NASCAR League. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.
Sun's going down and the